Hey y'all, it's Basehead Dipper here, dipping on some Grizzly Long Coat Wintergreen. Come and compare the Xbox One controller to the Xbox 360 controller, and explain to you how each controller feels in my hands. Now this is my personal opinion, so if I piss any of you off, I am completely sorry. Your opinion may differ from mine, and if you're going to leave a hate comment, don't even worry about doing that, because I'm just going to delete your comment and block you, because I ain't got time to deal with drama. So yeah. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get right into the video. So the first thing I like about the Xbox One controller is the D-pad. It is actually a lot smaller and a lot shorter than the Xbox 360 D-pad. You can actually see right here the difference. My Xbox 360 D-pad actually sticks out a little bit further. Does not take away from the playability of it, but it looks pretty retarded as far as that goes. And I actually have two controllers that have the transformable D-pad. I bought this a while back, and this, I don't know if you can see this, guys, but this controller has been used a lot by me, by my stepdad, and by my cousin. So yeah. Moving on. Another thing I like about the Xbox One controller is the buttons. They're actually a lot shorter, and they're more comfortable to actually use. And they're more responsive. It's really weird. They're actually more responsive. They don't feel like they get stuck as much as the Xbox 360 controller. And I've had a lot of problems with that with the 360 controller. This one and this one. And I'll go ahead and compare the controllers side by side again. You can see where, or actually, hang on, let me turn the controllers. You can actually see where the Xbox 360 buttons actually stick up a little bit more. Again, there's no problem other than the buttons actually getting stuck. But if you clean it a little bit, you can keep it from sticking. And yeah, and my controller is completely dirty. It's probably got 30 years worth of Doritos grease that needs to be cleaned. So yeah. Now the main feature I really like about the Xbox One controller is the actual triggers. They're redesigned, they're more comfortable, they're not as small, and yeah. And instead of being the bumpers right here and triggers right here on the Xbox One, they're actually all in one housing, so you don't have that little separation. And really, I believe it takes away a lot from the size when you actually have it all in one housing, instead of have two separate housings for each trigger and each bumper. So yeah. But overall, my favorite feature about the Xbox One is the fact that they actually flush mounted the battery compartment, so you don't have to worry about your fingers being cramped. Here, I'll show you better this way. You don't have to worry about your fingers being cramped like that. Now, don't get me wrong, this controller is comfortable. It really is. But after playing with the Xbox One controller for a while, it is much better. I love the improvement. I also love the new charging port, as well as the headphone port. Now, at first, I said, when I first talked about the controller, and then when I had to get that adapter, I said it kind of sucked. But I'm actually starting to change my views, because this actually makes it easier, and your plugs don't break as much, or at least mine hasn't, unlike the 360 where you just have the standard 2.5mm headphone jack. Not a big issue with the little plugs breaking. But it is a little harder to use like Xbox 360 headsets with the Xbox One due to the plug. But for $30 you can just pick up the Xbox One stereo headset adapter, and it works just fine. So continuing again, another thing I like is the smaller thumbsticks. They actually look a lot shorter too, but they are definitely a lot smaller. I don't know if you can see this in diameter, and the texture around the actual thumbstick itself makes it for easy playing. Your fingers don't slip as much, and this controller needs to be cleaned. But yeah, pretty much it's a all-around good controller for gaming. Now, I know a lot of you PlayStation fanboys out there will be like, oh, well, you bought an Xbox One, you know what the fuck you're talking about. See, that's where I do, because before I used to play any consoles like PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, I used to play on the computer. Yes, I used to be a computer gamer at one time. And then I found out about well, actually, my very first game console I got was the Nintendo NES. Now, this was back in 2001. It was a fairly old console, but yeah. But before that, I played on the computer, played computer games, so yeah. Even though I'm 19, I was playing on computers since I was like 2. So yeah, I was a really smart baby. I'm not gonna lie. But I like this controller. I seen the PS4 controller at GameStop, and it didn't really appeal to me. I mean, yeah, it's cool that you have a touchpad for swiping through games and whatnot, or choosing your games. Just swiping through the whole menu itself, that's pretty cool, but it's really unnecessary if you ask me. I mean, all that time that Sony put into their controller for the touchpad, or touch sensitive pad, or whatever you want to call it, they actually could have been improving the battery life. And this came from PlayStation fans themselves. They said the battery lives on their controllers do not last that long. With the Xbox One controller, I can play all day, get about 10 hours gaming out of it, and then I have to recharge, which I don't really play 10 hours of gaming. I mean, I'll play a couple hours of gaming, and then I'll go to YouTube or Netflix or something, and yeah. So, but if I was to play all day, I can at least get 10 hours of gaming out of the upgraded battery, or the aftermarket battery, whatever you want to call it. Rechargeable, there we go. Rechargeable. So yeah. But like I said, this is my personal opinion. Sorry if you didn't fully understand what I was saying. I'm completely tired, even though I slept all day. But yeah. Anyways, guys, this is Basshead Dipper signing out.